Hey guys, Retro Renegade here, and today we're going to look at one of the worst games of all time, and considered by many to be one of the worst superhero games of all time. We're going to look at Aquaman Battle for Atlantis, and for this purpose we're looking at the Xbox version. There were versions for other consoles, so if there are some problems that weren't present in the Xbox version, or some that were present in the Xbox version that were present in other consoles that I may talk about, please do not hate me, as I have not played these other console versions, but from what I've seen, they're just as bad as this one. So, you begin the story, and the story is told in a very pretty unique idea through a comic book, like you would expect. And finally, something got storytelling through text or pictures right. It goes along at a steady pace. Each thing varies by how long it expects you to take to read the previous panel, and if you go faster than the computer thinks you will, then you can just skip ahead, which is very nice. So it's starting off on the right foot, but still, what's with the comic pictures? I understand they're wanting to make it look like the game, but it says in the beginning that it's also made by DC Studios, or they had at least some part in it. Couldn't they have made some really cool drawings or whatnot for this? I think that would actually make this game just a little bit better. But the actual drawings they use aren't too bad, but still are a bad step forward, as the graphics in this game are pretty dull. So you start the game, and for me, it took me about 10 minutes just to figure out how to swim. You think just moving the left thumbstick would actually move you, but no, you have to press the left thumbstick and the right bumper. And this is into like a jet stream kind of thing. It's pretty ridiculous, because you expect just to be able to move with the right or left thumbstick. And like I said, I tried every button until I finally found out the right bumper. And worst of all, they don't even give you any hint of this. It'd be nice if, for example, it was a tutorial or something and they said press right bumper and direction with left thumbstick to swim. But I digress. So the first mission of the game is to go around saving these citizens. You follow an arrow, which actually does work if you actually pay attention to it, unlike what some YouTubers have said. You go around, you fight some very basic enemies that do not change at all, at least not in the first level. They all have the same health, the same ranking, and the same uniform, and they ultimately just look boring. They use the same attacks on you. Most of the time they just grab you around the head and punch you in the face a couple times, and they're really easy to fight. I mean, for the majority of the part, it just takes 1 or 2 hits to kill them. And, well, at least they do have some varying tactics. But it'd still be nice if, for say, they had some Arkham City style gameplay where you could just have one button. But instead it turns into where they try to have different combos and moves using different weapons and whatnot. And ultimately just doesn't really feel right. And it ultimately just feels more like mashing random buttons trying to see something cool. For me at least, the coolest thing to do is press the left bumper. Then you have a giant shark come out and eat them, or bump them against the head, I guess. But you're swimming along, and this is my least favorite part of the game, the thing that angers me the most. The city of Atlantis itself is very dull, which sounds like a contradictory statement. You would expect an underwater city that's supposed to be filled with riches and gold and all kinds of crazy culture would be exciting to swim around and explore, but it just feels like the same building over and over. You don't even have any enemies that aren't around a citizen. It's really ridiculous and monotonous, and it just makes you feel like you're going in the same area, and if you're not careful, you can get lost. But overall, it's almost a it's so bad it's good kind of game. I did get some enjoyment just out of, man, this is so terrible, that kind of feeling. But as a game itself, it's really angering, and it's just a terrible game. Bad graphics, bad gameplay. And like I said, the worst of all is the repeating. Everything repeats. The enemies, the moves, the animations, and even the backgrounds. So overall, I give this game a 1 Aquaman Trident out of 10. I say pay about a nickel for this game, and that's only if trash bags in your area come down to less than a nickel per bag, because that's what you're going to end up having to use if you buy this freaking game. I still can't believe I paid $5 for it. Well, I'm Retro Renegade. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to go think about how I got screwed out of $5 some more.